So welcome back to the November Basic 2025 sampler here at Close to Home in Southington. You know to bring in your completed October block beginning this Saturday, November 15th through the end of November, November 29th, to receive this November kit free. So we have restocked our Finish the Bolt at 50% off and have begun to hang our Black Friday sale signs on many of the sewing, embroidery, combination, long arm machines. Please come in and check those out, get your earliest deal possible. And also, speaking of the holidays, if you are looking to receive that sewing notion or gizmo this holiday, please come in, put your name on our index card in our wish box, and send somebody in to shop for you. And we will pull your card, and you will hopefully get what you want for Christmas this year. So let's begin with the November block. It is a 30-degree Dresden plate, as you can see in the back. The Dresden plate is made up of 3 per quarter, okay? So 3, and we're going to make 4 units, exactly the same, blue state plaid, all the way around. There is a little bit of a trick to sewing the blades together and turning the points, which we will get to. Also, the center circle uses the Tear Easy, and we're going to pull this inside out so it does not have a raw edge around the circle. You can finish your Dresden plates with blanket stitches, zigzag stitches, straight stitches, satin stitches, however you want to finish your applique. That's up to you. We'll go over it a little bit for a few minutes. I also appliqued down the center circle. Your block must be appliqued to the background to get your kit free for December. Okay. Very simple cutting from the blue plaid, and the stage, which are our blades of our Dresden. You will best press your kit and then cut those 3 at 4.5 inches long by whatever is in your kit. You will also need a piece of Tear Easy stabilizer, which is not part of your kit. It is available at the counter. You will need 1/3 yards. What you want to do from your 20-inch by 12-inch piece of stabilizer is to cut off a square to put to the back of your Dresden before you applique, behind the background. Also, we're going to use this little piece of scrap, and I'm going to show you how to turn your center inside out. Tools. So this is applique. There are a few tools that are very handy. The one thing you most definitely need is the Creative Grids Starburst 30-degree ruler. All right, and I will show you where to place the ruler in a second. You will also need a marking tool to draw your circle. You will need some kind of point turner. This is a point turner seam creaser. This is called the blue purple thing, and there is another one that we're offering. It is called the Hera marker. It also has a nice sharp point and a way to press your seams. So any of those little tools are going to help you. Please don't use anything sharp like a pen or scissors or anything to poke your points. You will also need a open toe foot. An open toe foot allows you to sew your appliques very easily, so you can see exactly where you're going, where the edge of your fabric is, and your applique shape is. They come for all different types of machines: Singers, Vikings, Baby Locks, Brothers, all that. And pretty much the last thing you're going to need is your 505, a 12.5-inch ruler to square up your block when it's all done, and some colored threads to applique with. I will have the blue and the red available, but certainly you can use whatever color you wish. And the last thing I just want to show you is the glow line tape, which is going to help you mark your ruler to be at the correct location every time, so you don't have to think too hard about it. All right, so that's the glow line tape. So we have started with our 4.5 inch strips. So we're just going to put all these right up on top of each other. All right, and we're going to look at our starburst ruler one more time, and this time we're going to notice the 1 marking, the 1 inch marking, 2, 3, all the way up to 5.5. Now 5.5 is the white line that goes across the starburst ruler where it says 5.5. We're going to place our 4.5 inch strip between the 1 solid line and the 5.5 solid white line, just like this. So follow me down. I'm just going to place it at the 1 and at the 5.5. And we're going to go ahead and cut our first wedge. I'll turn that. I'm going to turn this around because I am right-handed. We'll just go ahead and replace this at the 1 and the 5.5. Okay. All right, so once I have my first wedge of 3, because I have all 3 fabrics on top of each other, doesn't matter, right up, upside down, whatever. And then I'm just going to turn my starburst ruler around and find that 1 again. The 1 is now going to be at the top of my strip and the 5.5 at the bottom. I have my angle just like I cut it, so everything's straight, and I can go ahead and cut my second set of 3. So that's half my Dresden. Spin it one more time, and I'm going to get 4 cuts or 12 blades. And one last time. So we have the 1, we have the nice angle, we have the 5.5, we're good to go. Hold that ruler. I kind of put my pinky right up against it so it doesn't go anywhere. But the nice thing again about Creative Grids is it does have the grips up around the corners, on the edges, and up the center. So it really, really holds well. All right, now that we have our blades made, we are going to, the second step is to finish the ends. So we're going to take our blade and we're going to place right sides together along the long edge of the blade so that our corners touch and our sides are even. All right, we're going to sew the long edge at 1/4 inch from the raw edge to the fold with a tiny stitch, meaning about a 1.6. Thank you. So we're just going to place this under our foot at 1/4 inch with the raw edge first. I'm just going to turn my stitch down a little bit because I'm going to be trimming this, and at this point I'm going to be poking it out, and I don't want any loose threads or long threads that my point isn't going to come out as pointy as it should. So we're going to go ahead and sew this. Okay. So we're going to basically chain piece all these. I'll get the next one ready. And I'm only going to do 3, but you're going to do all 12. So we'll do it again. And this is my first quarter of my Dresden, these 3. So I'll do a quarter, but you're going to do all 4 sets. Okay, So you guys will have 24 of these in a big long chain. You can go ahead and cut them apart. And the next thing we want to do is get rid of some of the bulk where the point is going to be. I don't want to just turn this inside out because I have a lot of fabric right here in that point. So I'm going to trim away just a little bit. So right about here, and I'll just kind of curve it outward. All right, I'll do it one more time. Right about here, and then I'll trim it away. All right, so now we can turn these inside out and poke them. I just use my purple thing. I just want to give a nice little poke to get a really accurate point up here. Okay, let me do that to all of them. And then we're going to go over to the iron, and I'm going to show you how to center the raw edge so that it lays nice and flat and even with the others. So we're just going to give this a little point. Try not to go too hard because you don't want to go up through the top of it. All right, so let's go over to the iron. We're going to show you a little something. So when I had this inside out, I really pressed together. Let me see if I can do that again. I really kind of gave this a little finger pressing right here. That gave me a nice center crease. So I'm going to line up my seam with that center crease just like this. So the seam comes down, joins in with that pressed crease that I made in the center. And it doesn't matter if your seam allowance goes this way or this way, as long as it's one way or the other. I have this nice and centered. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of heat. I'm not going to move it around too much, but just give that a nice press. So I'll do it again. Whoops, I forgot to really give this a good finger press. You can always go back and redo it. So here's my crease. I'm just going to place that seam on the crease and center it. Oh, I didn't do any of them. All right, so get this right in the middle. All right. Okay, so that was step 2. Step 3 is actually putting these blades together. And again, it doesn't really matter which way you put them, as long as you stay consistent between all your quarter quadrants. So we're going to put the state on top of the blue, and we're going to sew here. The thing is, if I just started to sew along this edge at 1/4 of an inch, my threads would be sticking out, and every time I went to kind of open this up to press it, this stitch would pull. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to secure or lock our stitch at about 1/4 or maybe 3 stitches down from the end of it. So I like to start sewing with the needle right about here, and I'll back up first. So we're going to start, 1, 2, 3, it's off, and then we're going to continue to sew down our seam. All right, so let's do that. And that not only secures and locks our blades together up at the top, but it also eliminates the threads from hanging off the end. All right, so I'm going to hold my thread, hold my reverse, take 1, 2, 3, 4. Now my needle is off my blade, and I can come forward. All right, let's do it again. This time we're going to add our blue plaid. Same thing. So you see that thread is stuck down in here now. It's off inside the blade. When I open it up, I have a really nice lock and no extra thread at the top. All right, so let's take the next one, put it on top, match up our sides. Start a few, maybe 3 stitches below the folds. Hold the reverse, take a couple stitches back till the needle goes off of the Dresden blades, and then we're going to come forward. And you're going to make 4 sets of 3, all the same. Okay, and be careful, this is a little bit stretchy. This is a little bit biased, and it may stretch on you, so just be gentle, and we'll go ahead and trim these threads. All right, so don't press them yet. Let's grab another one. Say I have 2 sets. These 2 are going to go together same way. This one on top, we're going to set it, we're going to reverse and sew. So now I have a half. We're going to do the exact same thing to the other 2 to make a half, and then we're just going to sew the halves together along these lines, always doing the same thing with a little bit of reverse. Okay? So I have one done here. Let's go over to the iron real quick. So I've already pressed this, but yours would not be pressed at this point. The thing to remember is to press in one direction, almost in a circle. Instead of just going up and down like we normally iron, we're just going to put our iron down on one of the blades and kind of give it a little bit of a tug, and we're going to hold it. Little bit of a tug, and see how my iron is just kind of going around in a circle. And then when it's uncomfortable to continue, I'll just put the iron down again, give it a little bit of a tug, not too much, and again in a circle, so that all my blades are going around in one direction. Okay, so now your Dresden is almost done. Couple more steps. On the directions, we have to make our centerpiece. So on the directions, we're given a circle. We're going to take our extra scrappy piece of Tear Easy, and we're just going to go ahead and trace around this circle. Okay. This is our sew line. Oops. All right. So we're going to place our red square, or our center fabric, right side up, and place the Tear Easy circle on top of the red square. And we're going to sew on the line. And what I like to do is reverse a little bit, sew around, and when I get to the connector again, reverse a little bit just to lock our stitch. All right, once we get that sewn in a circle, we're going to trim this to about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch all the way around the circle. All right, so what we're left with, I've already pressed this, is this was inside out, much like this, right? We had our circle, we trimmed it. Next thing we want to do is just rip a little bit of a hole in the Tear Easy, and we're just going to gently turn this around so that the raw edges are now underneath inside the circle. There's a couple tools again that can help you. This purple thing is great because I can kind of hold this and poke out the edge of my circle, get a nice round shape to it. I could also use the point turner seam creaser. It has a nice smooth edge to it, again, to get all those beautiful curves. Once that's done, we're going to go over, we're going to press it. Okay, so that is our center. Okay, we're going to take our background, step 3. We're going to find our center crease. So we're going to fold our 14-inch background in half. You can give it a little press if you want, make it very clear to where our center is. And we're going to fold it in the other direction. Again, matching up those creases to get our center and giving it a little bit of a press. All right. Make sure that your background is right side up before you go any further. We're going to take our finished pressed Dresden and we're going to line up each quadrant in its appropriate spot. So between the plaid and the blue, I'm going to place it in this press mark right here. This one's going to go here, here, and it has to go up a little. Keep moving it around until it works for you. Okay, so each one of these is now squared up. I'm going to go ahead and pin this down. I could put a little 505 on my Tear Easy, which is great, it helps it stick, or I can just pin through all the layers and it'll hold the Tear Easy until I'm done the applique stitching. All right. So let's take it one more time over to the sewing machine and we're going to do a couple applique stitches. I'm going to change my foot. It's time to change your thread to red or blue, but I'm just going to keep on the light blue that I had so that you can see my stitch. And I'll do it on the dark blue so that you can see it. So here on my Bernina, it's stitch number 1309 is the one I like. So when your needle first comes down on a blanket stitch, I'll go very slow, just turn the hand wheel. The needle is right between the applique and the background. So the first couple of stitches will go to the left, then to the right, and then forward. Again, landing right between the applique and the background, into the background. So we're going to continue this stitch with the fingers always going toward the applique shape. When we get to the corner, we want to slow down and we want to turn. I could take one more. We're going to turn. And we're just going to finish coming down this line. So pretty much we're going to go all the way around, including the red circle in the center. So I'm going to stop here. And they could be long, they could be far apart. It doesn't matter. You can do the blanket stitch any way you choose. The next thing is to take your red circle and do the same thing, making sure that it's centered around all the sides of your Dresden. Pin that in place, applique, and then finally, you're going to take your 12.5-inch square, and we know that the 12.5-inch square now has these white indicator center marks on the ruler. So it's very hard to see, but it has a nice bullseye right in the center, and it's the white. The white lines are the center. So those white lines are going where our creases were in between our petals. So once we're all done, I'm going to take my white line, I'm going to find the center of my petal, the white line with the center. I can come down a little bit between here and here, here and here. Once I'm happy with the center, I'm going to trim all the way around and then peel off the Tear Easy. It's a lot, and I think you'll enjoy it. It does actually go very quickly, and I hope you enjoy the block this month. Thank you for watching.